Okay. Greetings and salutations, friends, family, and foes. We are gathered here today to learn and revere Louisiana from the year 1790 to 1850. My name is Professor Bumblebee. Welcome. Welcome back, students. I remind you once again, my name is Professor Bumblebee, and today we will be discussing Louisiana from the years 1790 to 1850. But first, some history. To the right, you will see some visual aids that will guide you in understanding the content of this course. To begin, the Sala Capitular functioned as a courtroom. First, for the Cabildo under Spanish rule from 1799 to 1803. Then, the Superior Court in the territorial period from 1803 to 1812. And later, the Louisiana Supreme Court after the Civil War in 1868 to 1910. So this one building and its courtroom has lasted for a very, very long time. The people who inhabited colonial Louisiana commonly mingled and shared social values and recreational practices. This includes white people, black people, and everyone in between. I have been informed that my previous statement was insensitive and ill-advised. Please welcome my assistant teacher while I speak to my boss.
Hey guys, you know me, you love me. The professor did have to go. This is not his first rodeo. Okay, I'm here to discuss something a bit more serious with you, seeing as he is ill-equipped to do so. The Natchez Massacre and War from 1729 to 1731. The Natchez tribe was a tribe of Native Americans within the Louisiana Territory. They inhabited the area during French occupation of the territory. During this time period, these 3 years, the Natchez warriors attacked a French settlement, killing hundreds of white colonists and capturing nearly 300 black slaves. In retaliation, the French governor at the time sent troops and Choctaw warriors, that's another tribe in the area, that were allied with the French to attack Natchez settlements, virtually exterminating the entire Natchez society. We feel as educators that it is incredibly important that we talk about the cultures that did inhabit the areas that we exist in today, and the professor should be back momentarily to continue talking about Louisiana.
Hello, students. I'm back. That could have been an email. Now let us continue our lecture on the Louisiana Purchase.
Greystone emoji.
Sorry about that, kids. You know the old ball and chain, looking for child support. I have to call her back before I lose visitation rights. Please enjoy this educational video. I expect to see notes taken when I come back.
Napoleon, sir.
President Thomas Jefferson. What did I tell you? Better. What do you want?
Love of my life. Apple of my eye. New Orleans. Can I buy?
No.
Thank you for your time, Sugar Plum Honeysuckle. Napoleon, sir.
What did I tell you? Better. What is it?
I regret to inform you. We've lost Haiti.
Mailed.
There's more.
Mailed.
The French, your people,
Mailed.
they plan to exile you. They hate you, sir.
Mailed. Oui, oui, je m'appelle Baguette Croissant. I represent the French people. Fuck you, Napoleon. You are miserable and short. That guy smelled so bad.
He was unbaked, sir.
Find me Thomas Jefferson. Oh my god, okay.
Sugar Plum Honeysuckle.
What did I... Oh, you remembered. Regardless. You want my Louisiana territory, yes?
Just New Orleans.
Shh. The territory, yes?
Anything you say, sir.
I thought so. I'm giving it to you. And you know what?
What?
I'll only charge you $15 million.
Hello, students. I'm back. And I can still see my son. Hooray! I trust that you all took helpful notes during the educational video that will guide you on your test this upcoming Friday. In case you didn't, we'll go over the important information now. France brought the Louisiana Territory back from Spain in 1800, but didn't need it after Napoleon's Western empirical vision failed with France's loss of Haiti. America wanted New Orleans because settlers coming in through Georgia and Mississippi were already settling at the mouth of the Mississippi River, and America wanted to trade through the river. Napoleon refused to sell at first, but in April of 1803, sold the entire territory of Louisiana and all of its residents to America at a whopping $15 million. That translates to about $397 million in today's money, which is about as much money in taxes that I evaded during my career.
Hey guys, I'm back. The professor was called back to the office for what he left the note saying was an emergency evaluation. But I'm here to present to you the rest of the information that he has not been able to thus far. Because the Louisiana Territory is so incredibly large, we're going to narrow all of our information down to what is now like the state of Louisiana. And we're going to focus mostly on New Orleans because that was the most populated area at the time, and the rest was still being settled by various people. Regardless, New Orleans exists at the mouth of the Mississippi River. Africans and Native Americans took up most of the population and continue to be major cultural influences today. In the year 1800, about half of the population in New Orleans were black, the other half were white. In 1795, about half of New Orleans carpenters, joiners, shoemakers, silversmiths, gunsmiths, and seamstresses were free black people. New Orleans quickly became the hub of a new regional trade network, and export directed their economy. They were very heavily economically influenced by the river that they are at the mouth. Interestingly enough, the social structure in Louisiana was very different from the rest of America at the time. What made it different was is demonstrated by this chart here that I'm going to add post-production. Specifically, free women of color in New Orleans owned more property than any other group besides white men. Some of the religious influences, which also set Louisiana apart from the rest of America at the time, the French and the Spanish brought in Roman Catholicism, much like New Jersey at the time. However, overwhelming numbers of Africans of various cultures coming in at a short period of time flooded Louisiana with many different practices and languages that are still seen today. There were also a few Protestants and Sephardic Jews at the time. And the Battle of New Orleans was fought on January 8th, 1815, between British troops led by General Edward Pakenham and American forces led by General Andrew Jackson. Despite being outnumbered 2-1, the Americans, who had constructed sophisticated earthworks, won a decisive victory against the British assault. The Americans suffered 24 killed, 115 wounded, and 74 missing, while the British reported their losses as 46 killed, 167 wounded, and 64 missing. Consequently, as at December 25th, Pakenham's forces now had an effective strength of 5,933 out of a head count of 6,660 soldiers. The British marched against New Orleans, hoping that by capturing the city they could separate Louisiana from the rest of the United States. They were unsuccessful. Major General Andrew Jackson is considered the hero of the Battle of New Orleans. In 1815, he led a small, poorly equipped army to victory against 8,000 British troops at the Battle of New Orleans. He became a hero and later the 7th President of the United States. He organized the city's defenses, including erecting gun batteries, deploying gunboats, and felling trees to clog water routes to impede a British landing. The Louisiana Slave Revolt of 1811 was the largest slave insurrection in the history of the United States. The revolt was carried out by enslaved men and women, house servants and field hands, some born in Louisiana and others recently arrived from Africa and the Caribbean. Bound to the sugar plantations in St. Charles and St. John the Baptist parishes, these slaves together decided to build an army and fight for their freedom. Led by Charles Deslandes, a slave believed to have arrived in Louisiana from Haiti, the revolt began on January 8th on Manuel Andre's plantation near present-day Laplace. Armed with pikes, axes, shovels, and a few rifles, the army of the enslaved began its 2-day march in military formation down the east bank of the Mississippi River. Waving flags and beating drums, the rebels burned plantations, crops, and storehouses. As it marched on New Orleans, the army grew as slaves rushed out from the plantations to join the fight. Witnesses estimated that the army had grown to between 200 and 500 slaves. Militia was dispatched by the government in New Orleans and by planters in the surrounding parishes to fight the slaves. The army of the enslaved had its last stand in the early morning on January 10th, when it was defeated by a militia from across the river. Some slaves were killed in the fighting, and many more were executed after summary investigations. Authorities chopped the heads off of the corpses and displayed them on tall spikes in New Orleans and along the Mississippi River as a warning to other slaves. And that was my presentation on Louisiana from the years 1790 to 1850. I would like to give a special thank you to my cousin Justin, the voice and actor for multiple 7/8 of the puppets, he said, and
we
my
totally
dog
have to make
Ollie.
all of them.
Yeah. I had so much fun doing this. It's the exact last minute. But genuinely though, this is like the most interesting say out of all of them, and I really do hope I get to keep it. My name is Madame Marie Delphine McCarthy, or better known as Madame Lalaurie. I was born March 19th, 1787, and I died December 7th, 1849. I lived in New Orleans. I was a socialite and serial killer. I tortured and murdered slaves in my household. I stand here today, or sit, possessing this balloon that was left in my mansion, that was burned down twice, the first time in 1834, after a slave revolt, the second time a while later, and the third time not so long after that, and each time it was rebuilt. And now it stands as a museum. I was allowed a visitation pass from hell to see how my home was. I came to visit, and these freaking teenagers stuck me in a balloon. So now I sit in this balloon, conscious of all of my misdoings, watching these people walk through my house with shoes on. I'm okay. I sit in this chair to lament and to apologize to the modern American people. And to say, it's kind of really fucked up that you guys don't recognize me as the first American serial killer. I kind of earned that right. I kind of killed a lot of people, like a lot of people, like so many people. But no one thinks that I'm the first American serial killer. I really don't know why. I was there, like not even 10 years after the founding of America, right? Like I was there before H.H. Holmes. Okay, fuck that guy. I know what I did. I did this. Okay? I killed so many people. I should be getting that title. I don't know why some guy with a bowler hat and a bad mustache gets my recognition, gets my glory, my titles. I don't understand. I'll never understand it. I sit in this balloon. I'm stuck in a freaking balloon. A freaking balloon. Not even a pretty one. It's a red balloon. It's a red balloon. And they drew this on my face. This is in my face. So these teenagers drew this face on me. This is not my face. I didn't do this. I'm not sad. I said I was sad for the bit. I don't actually feel any remorse. I'm a horrible person. I killed so many people. So many of, like, my own people. I'm astounded. I really do think it's misogynistic. I really do think in the year of our Lord 2023, by now, I would be getting my recognition as America's first serial killer, but I really do think it's because I'm a woman. And that's been my confession as a serial killer. Thank you for your time, America.
Good.
I need you to say action.
Action.
Perfect. To the right are visual aids.
Just New Orleans. Just New Orleans.
It's okay.
How are you doing, Daniel? Doing good?